families, it's Casey here, and welcome back to our Active Kids at Home experience. We're so glad that you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube. I just want to take some time to encourage you. Parents, you're doing such a wonderful job leading your kids through this crisis and just loving them well. And kids, you're doing an awesome job just having fun and listening and being there for your parents. You guys are all doing such a great job. Let's continue to do this. We're going to get through this together. And something I want to let you guys know about, if you're watching here for the first time, I just want to encourage you. There's a link in the description below that has a card that we would love for you to fill out just to connect with you. And we know this time can be tough, and we want to pray with you, connect with you, and send your kids something awesome in the mail. So make sure you guys connect with us below if you're new or interacting with us for the very first time. And finally, we are starting a new series this month called Upside Down. It's all about Jesus and his life leading up to Easter and after that, and how he turned the world upside down by the way he acted and by the way he lived. And this month, we're going to be learning about a virtue called humility. And I'm so excited to be going through that with you right now. All right, so what I want you guys to do right now is gather around in a circle as a family, and we're gonna have some family time discussion. We're gonna do an icebreaker, highs and lows in the week, and some encouragements. So our icebreaker this week is, who's your favorite sidekick of all time? Mine would be Alfred, because Alfred is the best sidekick to Batman. Without Alfred, Batman wouldn't even eat or know what to do with his life, all right? So who is your favorite sidekick of all time? Ask yourselves that question, and then I want you guys to go through your highs and lows of the week, what was good, what was bad, and some encouragements you can share about those lows that you guys are having this week. Take some time to talk and discuss these over, and we'll be right back. I hope you guys had a great time just discussing your highs and lows. And who in there had Alfred, like me, as your favorite sidekick of all time? He's great. He doesn't do any fighting, but he controls Batman's life. Without him, he'd be totally lost. Like I mentioned before, this month is about humility. And here's how we define humility. It is putting others first by giving up what you think you deserve. And so we have a memory verse that I want you guys to commit to memory this month. And the memory verse is from Philippians 2:3, and it says this: don't do anything only to get ahead. Don't do it because you are proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourselves. That is our memory verse this month for the whole month of April. We'd love for you and your family to commit this to memory. And last week, we had some great videos and photos of people memorizing the memory verse. And so I want to help you and give you a little bit of a tool. What I do is I like to do hand motions. I've been working with kids all my life. And not only does it help kids learn how to memorize something, it helps me as well. So I put some hand motions together. They're not the best, but you guys can make your own if you want. But here is my hand motions for this memory verse. Don't do anything to get ahead. Don't do it because you are proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourselves. Philippians 2:3. So take some time together as a family to try to commit that to memory. And if you can commit this to memory in week 1, like I saw some of you do last week, you are amazing and awesome, and I look forward to seeing it. So take videos and photos and post them to Active Kids on Instagram and Facebook. We would love to see you guys doing this together. We'll be right back. All right, I want to see all those people that can memorize the verse, closing your eyes, take a video, post that on Instagram and Facebook. We would love to see you reciting the memory verse this month. But don't worry if you can't get it this week. We have all month to learn it, so take some time, go over it together as a family during the week. We can't wait to see you memorize this verse. We're going to go to a game right now, and the game that we're going to play is Freeze Dance, all right? Freeze Dance. And the reason we're going to play this game is because it's not always the first person to get out that wins. It's the last person standing, all right? It's upside down than what we normally do, right? Normally games are the first person to the finish line, the person with the most points, or the first person to a certain amount of points is the winner. Well, this game is different. It's the last person standing. So what you're gonna do is get some music ready, like your Spotify ready on your phone, your laptop, your TV, wherever you have music. Get it ready to play and take turns being the play and pauser. And if you haven't played Freeze Dance, this is how it works. You play the music, you dance, when the music's paused, you freeze. Pretty simple. But if you even move an inch, you are out, all right? So we're gonna play by serious rules here. So take some time as a family to play Freeze Dance together. All right, who was the last person standing in their family? You were the winners of Freeze Dance. Now, here, take a vote as a family. Point to the person who had the best dance moves. See, that wouldn't be me and my family. I'm a terrible dancer. I don't have any rhythm. I don't memorize lyrics to songs. I'm terrible at all musical things. And so I would not be the best dancer for sure. But hopefully you were the best dancer in your game. But right now we're going to go into a time of worship. We're going to sing and dance. So let's go ahead and stand to our feet. And worship's such an awesome time because it's a time to let God know how much we appreciate him and love him. But it's also a time for us to remind ourselves how much God loves us and what he says about us. So as the words are being sung, remember, these are words that we have towards God and God has towards us. So let's go ahead, get ready, get excited for worship.
Everywhere that I go, you're there with me. Even in the night when I cannot see, I know you're by my side and I will be just fine. Oh God, you're always good to me. I wanna say thank you, thank you. I will live my life to praise you, and lift you high. Every night and day, I'll follow in your ways. I wanna say thank you, thank you. I wanna say thank you, God. Every breath that I take, you give to me. Every brand new day is a blessing. I know you're by my side and I will be just fine. Oh God, you're always good to me. I wanna say thank you. I will live my life to praise you, and lift you high. Every night and day, I'll follow in your ways. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you, God. I wanna say thank you for mercy and kindness, for grace that is endless, love and forgiveness. I wanna say thank you for mercy and kindness, for grace that is endless, love and forgiveness. I wanna say thank you. I will live my life to praise you, and lift you high. Every night and day, I'll follow in your ways. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you, God. I wanna say thank you, God. I wanna say thank you, God.
I hope you guys enjoyed singing worship together. My favorite part about doing worship during quarantine is that nobody has to hear my singing voice. So no matter how good or bad you sing, you cannot be embarrassed because you're doing it from the comfort of your living room. Hopefully you and your family are enjoying this time together. Right now, we're going to hear an exciting and fun story about Jesus. And in this story, Jesus goes with his disciples to pray in a garden. And while he's at this garden, something challenging that he's going to face is happening that he's talking through with God. He knows he can't face it alone, so he needs to bring this to God. And it's such a hard and difficult thing that he's going to be facing. And it's all about the story leading up to Easter. And it's going to be an exciting story that I can't wait for you to hear next week. But this week is about him coming to terms with facing that challenge head on and learning about how he had humility in this. So before I get into this, I'd love to pray for you. God, we love you so much. We thank you that we have this time with our families to learn more about you, God. We thank you for your son, Jesus' example in humility, God. And we pray that we can learn from it today, God, through this story of him praying in the garden with his disciples, God. We all face tough challenges, and we are right now, God. And we know if we have love and humility, we can get through it together. We love you in your name we pray. Amen.
Hey, this is Jacob, or, just Jake. Is everyone okay? There was like an earthquake or something in my room. I didn't feel it when I was outside my room, but then when I came in the room, Everything was turned upside down. My table, my bed, also known as my couch, my Ferrari, my sculpture. That's better. I don't know how this could have... Wait a second. Is there such a thing as roomquake? Yeah, that must be it. Anyway, I'm supposed to talk to you today about something called humility. Humility is putting others first by giving up what you think you deserve. So that means like doing stuff for others, I guess? Like my friend Chris. He's really good at humility. I mean, he humiliates me like all the time. Am I saying that right? Humiliate. Humiliate. He shows humility to me. He's super busy, but he always takes the time to put me first by playing his April Fool's surprises on me. Like the time he put my keys in Jell-O. Or the time he made me a tray of brownies. Brownies. And who can forget the old unscrew the top off the salt surprise? Chris is a funny guy. Hey, you know what I think? And this is just between you and me. Chris is the one who turned all my stuff upside down. It wasn't a roomquake after all. This must have taken a really long time. I mean, he turned all my stuff upside down. I do need to call my mom. This must have taken a lot of work. I'm not sure that it's fair that Chris keeps playing all these April Fool's month surprises on me, and I haven't even got him once. I don't deserve this. What I deserve is to get him back. Was that my toaster? The story today is about Jesus when he prayed in the garden while his friends couldn't even stay awake to keep watch. Jesus didn't deserve that. I wonder what he did about it. Stay tuned. I'm gonna come up with a way to turn the tables on Chris. Chris is gonna notice when he goes in his room the tables aren't the way he remembered them. I'm gonna get the revenge I deserve. I'm gonna get the revenge I deserve! Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, okay.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verses 36 through 56.
For months, the Jewish religious leaders had been plotting to silence Jesus.
He called us pretenders, snakes!
On the Sunday before Passover, Jesus entered Jerusalem to great cheers from the crowds.
Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord!
But even as the crowd swarmed in to see what Jesus would do and say, one of Jesus' closest followers, Judas, went to the religious leaders with a very sneaky plan.
What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?
How about a cool 30 pieces of silver?
Jesus knew these plans, but he also knew that his mission was to face those who hated him and let them take him without defending himself. He prepared his closest friends for this during a Passover meal, and then afterwards led them out of the city toward the Mount of Olives. Judas had already left them.
In a little while, you will no longer see me. Then after a little while, you will see me. I came from the Father and entered the world. Now I am leaving the world and going back to the Father.
The air cooled as the evening darkened.
This very night, you will all turn away because of me.
Peter, the most outspoken of Jesus' friends, quickened his step and tightened his hand on the sword he was carrying.
All the others may turn away because of you, but I never will.
What I'm about to tell you is true. It will happen tonight. Before the rooster crows, you will say 3 times that you don't know me.
I may have to die with you, but I will never say I don't know you.
Me too. Same.
By the time Jesus and his friends reached the Garden of Gethsemane, they were exhausted.
Sit here while I go over there and pray.
As the other disciples settled in on the cold, rough ground, Jesus took Peter, James, and John along with him to a grove of ancient olive trees. The weight of what was coming pressed down on him.
My soul is very sad. I feel close to death. Stay here. Keep watch with me.
We're here for you.
We got this.
Prayers. The three friends found seats among the knotted tree roots, and Jesus went on a little further. Then suddenly, he fell down on the ground, face first into the dirt. Words poured out from deep inside.
My Father, if it is possible, take this cup of suffering away from me. But let what you want be done, not what I want.
After a short time, Jesus returned to his friends. They had all fallen into restless sleep. Jesus touched Peter's arm.
What? Huh? We're just praying.
Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour? Watch and pray. Then you won't fall into sin when you are tempted. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak.
We'll stay awake this time.
Got you covered. Again, Jesus threw himself down to pray. His pain was so deep, blood and sweat beaded on his forehead.
My Father, is it possible for this cup to be taken away? But if I must drink it, may what you want be done.
Jesus returned to his friends once more, to find them still sleeping. The agony in his spirit forced Jesus to lay his heart out to God once more. He prayed the desperate words again, begging God to take away what was coming, and at the same time, revealing his complete trust in God's plan.
Let what you want be done, not what I want.
At last, Jesus knew the time had come. He returned to find Peter, James, and John buried deep in sleep. Beyond them, his other followers slept too.
Are you still sleeping and resting?
The disciples struggled through a fog of sleep, blinking and yawning. Below them, torchlight showed an angry mob climbing up the hill. The men were waving swords and clubs, shouting as they came.
Look, the hour has come. The Son of Man is about to be handed over to sinners. Get up, let us go. Here comes the one who is handing me over to them.
Jesus' friends staggered to their feet, and Peter clutched his sword. As the mob marched closer, they could see the man in front of the mob. It was their friend Judas.
Judas? What are you doing?
The mob had been sent by the Jewish religious leaders. Judas had already explained to them that he would greet Jesus with a kiss, so they would know exactly which man to arrest.
Greetings, teacher.
Judas ignored the other disciples and went directly to Jesus, kissing him on the cheek in greeting. Jesus drew back and looked Judas directly in the face.
Friend, do what you came to do.
The mob surged forward as the disciples just stood there, frozen and confused. As men grabbed Jesus, Peter suddenly sprang to life, awkwardly drawing his sword.
Should we use our swords?
Peter didn't wait for an answer, but he struck out wildly. His blade sliced right through the ear of the high priest's servant.
Oh!
Stop this!
Jesus touched the servant's ear. Immediately, he was healed.
Put your sword back in its place. Do you think I can't ask my Father for help? He would send an army of more than 70,000 angels right away. But then how would the scriptures come true? They say it must happen in this way.
Jesus turned back to the mob and the men who held him. They hovered there, uncertain, in the flickering light of their torches.
Am I leading a band of armed men against you? Do you have to come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat in the temple courtyard teaching, and you didn't arrest me. But all this has happened so that the words of the prophets would come true.
No one could respond to Jesus. Instead, they arrested him and led him away. And his friends who said they'd be with him through anything ran away. Jesus made the choice that would bring life to everyone, but that would cost him everything.
Somebody's gonna get a mustard-filled donut later, and I'm finally gonna get what I deserve. Hey, did you know that Jesus didn't deserve all that stuff that happened to him? Like when his friends ditched him when he needed them, and when those people arrested Jesus even though he never did anything he wasn't supposed to? And then, when he was put on that cross, what? Jesus could calm a storm with his hand and bring dead people back to life. Why do you let all that bad stuff happen to him? Turns out it was all a part of the plan. When God created the world a whole bunch of years ago, he knew people were going to need help if they were going to have a relationship with him. So he told people he was sending someone who would have to pay for all the stuff they did wrong. And that someone was Jesus. But it's not like Jesus wanted to go through all that bad stuff. In the garden, he was like, God, any chance there's a different way to save the world and stuff? But then Jesus was like, it's not about what I want, God, because what you want is better. So, what did Jesus do to his friends in the garden who let him down? He put them first. And what did Jesus do to those people who arrested him for no reason? He put them first. And what did Jesus do for you, me, and the whole world? He put us first. It's kind of an upside down way of doing things. Putting somebody else first for no reason when they don't earn it or when they may not even deserve it. I bet we can put people first like Jesus did. We could let someone else pick what restaurant to go to or what video game to play. We could give up our place in line sometimes. Or when someone surprises us by turning our room upside down, we could choose to not get even. So, here's the one thing I learned today. Put others first. It's not about what we deserve. It's not about what we want. What God wants is better. So, April Fool's month or not, I'm gonna put people first. And Chris, if you're watching, keep the surprises coming. But I won't be taking my revenge. I'll just be sitting here, getting what I truly deserve. A delicious mustard-filled donut. Ah, that's some good stuff right there. That's some good mustard. See you next time.
Man, Jesus faced such a hard and tough challenge. And he even admits it to God and says, this is so hard, God, that if you can take it from me, take it from me. But if this is your will, then I'm willing to do what you need me to do. And that's ultimately what he does. But he knows he couldn't face that alone. And right now, after we've heard our story and we let the power of the story kind of marinate in our minds and our hearts, I have a few questions that I want to ask you. Number one, and I want you guys to talk about this as a family in a little bit, but the first question I have for you is a simple one. Why do you think it's important to put others first? Why is it such an important thing to do that? Next, I want you guys to each share a story. Talk about a time that someone put you first and it made you feel happy. When did someone put you first in your life, and did it change your life? Did it just make you happy? Did it brighten your day? What did it do in your life? And finally, what are some ways we can put our brothers, our sisters, our moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, whoever's in your life, how can we put them first? And I want you to go even further, and this is kind of a challenge for this week. I want you to put a plan together to put other people first, whether that's writing a card to someone and delivering it and making cookies or baking something for someone or FaceTiming someone or making someone feel special. How can you make someone be first in your life this week? Do it safely, do it with your parents, but how can you put someone first this week? So take some time as a family to circle up and discuss these questions. They'll be on the screen. Putting others first is hard. Even Jesus knew that it was going to be difficult, but he knew that putting others first would change the world. And when we do it, we can also be world changers. And you're not too young or too small to be a world changer. You can make a difference today by putting other people first. One person at a time, we can change the world together. Thank you so much for joining us for this week of Active Kids at Home. There's a few things I want to remind you of. Number one, if you're new or interacting with us for the first time, we would love to connect with you. In the description below, we have a guest card that's just for you to fill out. We would love to connect with you, pray for you, and send your kids something great in the mail. Secondly, parents, if you're watching this Sunday at 9 a.m. and 10:45, we have our live stream services, our Active at Home services. You can find them on Facebook and on YouTube. We would love for you to like, comment, share, engage with us during these services. They're going to be so awesome. You're going to hear some powerful worship and an encouraging message from Pastor Mike. So we'd love to see you and engage with you there. And finally, join us for Easter at Home with Active this next coming Sunday, April 12th. We're excited to bring you some exciting online experiences. Active Kids experience is going to be great. We're going to have a cool show for you guys, and we can't wait to bring that to you. But we'd love for you to join us on Easter and invite people to come watch with you. Invite people to come do a watch party on Facebook or YouTube and watch together as a family. We would love to interact and engage with you. We love you guys. We're praying for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.